First and foremost, before anything, I'm already out of high school. And once you're out of high school, I do not believe that you should stick with any problems high school gave you or any complications there was within your high school time. But I will say this. Throughout my time in middle school, I loved English class. Not because I was some nerd. In fact, I didn't even get good grades at all. But I loved English class. I loved the art of it. I loved poems. I loved writing. I loved words. I loved speaking. I loved all this kind of stuff. So of course I will love English class. When I still went to high school, I thought that English class was going to be this amazing class that I would love every single day. But it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that at all. In fact, I passionately can say that English class is the worst subject in high school. Not because it's the most boring, not because it's the most work, but because it's the most useless subject. And that's unfortunate. So first, let's talk about what English class is supposed to be. English class is supposed to be a study of literature, study of words, study of how to write, how to read, how to talk, and all that good stuff, which I completely agree with. I think that's the point of English. So with that in mind, that should mean that the students that take English class should be pretty damn good at English. But what I notice every single day, it kind of sucks to see, is that as years go by, as kids get younger and younger, it doesn't make any sense. New 18-year-olds, new 19-year-olds, even 20-year-olds, if not older people, their skills to speak in English, their ability to speak English diminishes, gets worse every single generation, every single year. And we're talking about the American English. I don't know how it is over there in Europe. I don't know how it is over there in Asia. I don't know how it is anywhere else. I'm speaking about the American system. I'll say this. Every one of my teachers, Japanese class, history class, math class, whatever it was, I love them all. And they were all amazing. I think each of them had their own incredible amount of value. My English teachers do not have that kind of value. When I was in 8th grade, I had a teacher. Her name was Miss Sawyers. And still today, the best teacher I've ever had. Not because she was fun, not because she was easy. Not that she wasn't fun, she was actually very fun. Why she was my favorite wasn't because she was incredibly smart. The reason she was my favorite is because she knew what English class was supposed to mean. She knew what English class was supposed to mean. And that's what's important about that class. So we spoke about what English class should be. Let's speak about what English class actually is. What English class actually is, it's just a glorified history class. All you do is read books, write paragraphs about them, write essays about them, do the same thing for the next book. Read about people's essays and that kind of silly stuff. The English class I've had never tested me on my English. It tested me on my knowledge about books. Okay, cool. I don't even believe that's that bad of a method when it comes to teaching. Because you're teaching your students how to read books, you're teaching your students how to be more educated on text. Which is cool. That's perfectly fine. But that's not English. That's a reading class. That's history class. That's anything but English class. English is an art. English will always be an art. English isn't some subject that you grade from A to F. English is something that you create. You're telling me, you're teaching your students that English isn't a creative process or something that you have to get a grade on with this A or an F? That's kind of twisted, and that's wrong. I do not believe that's the case. And not only is that wrong, it's also not effective. Because one, kids don't even care about English class, let alone school. That's an entirely different subject, but they don't care about school. It's not effective. But two, it's not working. It just doesn't work. And I would have been fine if it's a pain in the butt. I would have been fine if it's boring. I would have been fine if it's tedious. I would have been fine if it's wrong. As long as it works. And it does not work. And that's a big problem. It should work. English class should be the most important class in school. But it's not. In fact, I would even argue it's the least important class. In high school at least, not in middle school or elementary. Okay, cool, we got that out the way. Now, how can we fix it? I think it's a very simple change. Not simple, actually, kind of complex. Well, first off, I would get rid of the grading system from A to F. But let's just assume in this world that we cannot do that. That the A to F system will stay the forever. Cool. Figure out a way around that. As we established, English is not a subject, English is an art. So we treat it as an art. Everything past middle school, elementary to middle school, that's when you start to learn basic English, adjectives, pronouns, verbs, all that kind of stuff, how to use, how to spell correctly, how to make sentences correctly, how to speak correctly, and all that good stuff. I will never change anything about that. Now we reach high school level. That's going to be freshman year to 12th grade. But at that point, that's when English class needs to be taken a lot more serious. First, English is an art. You should not be reviewing any books. I'm saying that you should not read. Reading should be a requirement. But English is not just about books. The subject is going to be about you. It's going to be about the student. Because English is art. English is a story. English is from point A to point B. The beginning to the end. From elementary to 8th grade, you should be doing the book reading. You should be doing all this kind of learning about text, about paragraphs, about all this kind of stuff. Everything past that point should be your own creation. So it should be about your own poems. It should be about your own poems. It should be about your own stories. It should be about your own ideas, your own creation. If there is supposed to be an importance for every single subject, math is supposed to give you the answer, science is supposed to make you understand the answer, and history is supposed to help you review the answer. And if all of that's the point, what's the point of English? English doesn't have a point there. English doesn't have a purpose there, and that is the problem. But what English is supposed to be is English is supposed to make you want the answer. How do you want the answer? You write the story. You write the purpose. You make the purpose. But how do you make the purpose without knowing how to do it, and without knowing how to make the purpose? That's the point of English. So back to what English is supposed to be. English is supposed to be creating. You're creating your own story. You're creating your own whatever the hell it is, it's creation. Now, how do we get students to care? Well, first off, they're writing about themselves. That already gives them enough to care about whatever the hell they're writing. Because it's about themselves, and no one cares more about anybody else than themselves. That's already simple and done. Now, how do we get students to improve on their speech and become better speakers, become better writers, and become better readers? Well, we test them on their own work. We test them on their own writing. Test them on their own paragraphs. That part, I think that's an easy solution. That shouldn't be that difficult. To make sure they pass the class, to make sure they care about their grade, we do not correct them on a paragraph about somebody else. We do not correct them about their writing, about something they don't care about. Correct them on the writing that they care about. So their ideas, so their images, so their reality is spoken fluently. Because that's a problem with people that are my age. That's a problem with people in the entire world, is that they do not know how to speak their idea into reality. They don't know how to envision their idea properly. It's because their education when it comes to English is done poorly. English is what gives purpose. Math is what gives you the answer. Science is what helps you understand the answer. History is what helps you review the answer. And English is supposed to make you want the answer. English does not help you do that at this point. Not saying that it never will. Hopefully it will. And maybe it one day will. Because that's where it stands right now. I do genuinely think that English class should be the best class, the most important class in all of school. No matter if it's elementary, no matter if it's middle school, no matter if it's high school, no matter if it's college. But it will never be the best class. It will never be the most important class if it'll continue to be worthless. change.